Welcome to another HSExtra.com high school football video, playoff edition. My name is Joe Serrera, and I'm joined this week by Reidsville Rams head coach Jimmy Teague. Coach Teague, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Your Rams are coming off of a 54-26 win over Forest City Chase in the second round of the 2A West playoffs. What did you see from your team in that game, both positive and negative?
Well, obviously, I thought we played really well offensively. Our guys that made plays, and so that's what we have on offense. And defensively, we did well at times, but then at other times we did not do very well, and that was probably the thing that's most concerning to us going forward, is that we got to be more consistent defensively.
How is your sophomore quarterback Ali coming along? I know he had big shoes to fill. Obviously, Kyle Pinnock's one of the great players in history of your program, 3 state championships. But Al's putting up some numbers. How is he coming along?
Yeah, he has definitely gotten better as we've gone through the course of the year. I think he's also more confident in what we're doing, and so we're kind of hoping and expecting that from him, because we thought he had all the ability and all the skills to be a really good one. But until you actually see him make that progression, we didn't know for sure. And he has become a very good quarterback. I remember, I forgot what game it was, that I thought he probably played his best game back, maybe Walkertown or somewhere around that area. And I told him, I said, we finally got us a quarterback, and I think that made him happy.
Yep.
But he really has improved as the years gone on.
I know your team was very young on both lines at the start of the season. I know that was a bit of a concern for you because you had so much experience in the spring. How have those groups developed, your offensive and defensive lines?
Well, again, we couldn't replace a Kai Rankin or a guy like that, but we've had some guys that have stepped up and I think have been very adequate at what they're doing. And then on the offensive line, we've moved a few guys around, and which early on was very concerning, but that group has also, I think, come together pretty well. We've got a freshman starting at left guard, and Vince Wilderman, my left tackle, was playing A back last spring. So and those guys coming through for us has, I think, solidified the offensive line as well.
You had a great group of leaders, obviously, on that team in the spring, too. Who have emerged as the leaders of this fall Reidsville team?
The absolute leader, I think, without a doubt, is Cam Peoples, our receiver number 1. He's the guy that sets the tone for practice and games and everything else. The rest of the leaders have been really good. Vince and all those guys have already been really good leaders, but Cam kind of sets the tone, I think, for everybody else too.
It seems like he's been there forever, like it's been more than 4 years, because he's made plays for so long, going back to earlier in his career. Last week, your team faced a player, Marquise McCombs, who was leading the state in rushing yardage coming in. This week, you get the number 3 passer in the state in yardage, Gavin Gosnell from Hendersonville. What kind of challenges does he present? Obviously, a very different challenge than you had last week.
Yeah, he's a really good quarterback, obviously, and he's kind of like Kyle was for us. I think in the spring, he's been around for a while, and been through, so they know what they've got, and they've got a really good one. And then they also got 3 or 4 guys that are really outstanding receivers too. So it makes it good for him, just like it does for Al, for us. To be able to get the ball in those guys' hands, and that's difficult to defend because they also run the ball well. They got a freshman running back who's a good back, and the offensive line does a good job blocking. So all those things together make it very difficult to defend.
What do you see from them on defense?
Well, again, they're an even front. We've been seeing a bunch of odd front defenses, but they're are really good, I think, in what they do. And obviously, we hope to be able to get the ball in our playmakers' hands, and we always say, whatever the defense is giving us, hopefully we're good enough on offense to take what they're giving us, and hopefully, we're difficult enough to defend that you just can't gang up on one or the other as well.
What does your team need to do Friday night at Community Stadium to move on to the 4th round of the playoffs?
We need to score one more point than they do is number 1 thing. Obviously, defensively, I think, again, I mentioned earlier, we got to be more consistent. We did some good things, but we had some letdowns, and, we got to be more consistent defensively. And then, like I just said, offensively, give us a series or so, hopefully, to figure out what we can do offensively and then take advantage of those things. And again, try to get one more point than they do.
I hear you. Should be a great game for anyone who wants to make the trip up to Community Stadium. Jimmy Teague Field at Community Stadium, a huge honor and well-deserved, but Friday night, 7:30, Hendersonville, and we wish you luck in that game and going forward.
I appreciate it. Thank you.